Alrighty. Okay, so let's get started. Worksheet number 1. Perimeter and area of 2D composite shapes. So question number 1. I'm hoping you guys can see this okay. For any parts that I need to zoom in, I will. But you have the sheet in front of you anyways. So for question number 1, it says, find the perimeter and areas of the following composite shapes. Now remember, composite shapes is also called a compound shape. And if you think of the word compound, it just essentially means you're combining shapes together. Now remember, the perimeter is the distance around. Okay. Now to find the area, simply break them into smaller shapes. Now units, very important. When we talk about area, we talk about centimeter squared, or refer to the units as centimeter squared. And when we're talking about perimeter, we're talking about the distance around, and distance is always measured in single units. So for example, centimeters, meters, kilometers, etc., etc. So with the future videos, you'll notice I'll try to do one example from each of the different questions. So for question 1, let's zoom in here on this very first one. I figured I'd do the easy one. You can do the more challenging ones. Okay, so perimeter. Now with math, for the visual learners especially, I like to use pencil crayons. For obvious reasons, it's more visually appealing. Now let's take a look at the perimeter then. Now remember, the perimeter is the distance around. So let's start. So for this first shape here, let's pick a starting point. I'm going to pick that starting point. Okay. I'm going to go 4 centimeters across. Okay. So that's 4. 11 centimeters down, plus 11. 4 centimeters across, plus 4. And how do I know that's 4? Because it's a rectangle and these two sides are the same. And now I got to move down here. The question is, how do I know what that distance is? Well, in order to figure out that distance, we know that this side is 6. Okay? Now, which means this side is also 6. However, it's labeled here that this dotted portion is 4 centimeters, which means this remaining bit right here would be 6 minus 4, which is 2. So we can label this as 2 centimeters. So now I'm going to add another 2. Now once I cut across there, that's another 4. Move up there, that's another 6. Move across here, that's another 4. Oh, I'm running out of space here, I'm sorry. And finally, with that same analogy as I mentioned earlier, or the same explanation I said earlier, we don't have this distance here now, do we? So in order to figure out that distance, we need to look at the total length here, which is 11. And as mentioned before, this is 4 centimeters, which means from here to here it's 11. But we're cutting off 4 centimeters. So what's 11 minus 4? 11 minus 4 is 7. So this is 7 centimeters. And lastly, plus 7. Okay? So I do apologize for not giving enough space here, but you can always do this work on the side. Okay? Well, let's take out our calculator and type in these numbers. Now, I'm not sure if you can see the calculator. I hope you can. So that would then give me 4 plus 11 plus 4 plus 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 4 plus 7. That will give me 42. Therefore, the perimeter is 42 centimeters. Perimeter is 42 centimeters. Now, I would prefer if you wrote the answer here. I should have done the scrap work on the side on the outside. That's my fault. My apologies. Now, as a side note, I don't know if you can see this calculator. Let me zoom out a little bit. This Casio calculator I've had since high school myself. It is a very trusty calculator in the sense that everything is intuitive. Okay, so if you have to type in brackets, for example, brackets 9 plus 9, some calculators might make you type in 9, then the brackets. Okay, this calculator, you can type it in the way you say it. Okay, so it makes a lot more intuitive sense. So I would highly recommend this specific calculator. Okay, now for the area, let's take a look at the area. Now I'm going to try to keep these videos to 5 minutes or less. This one is already at 6 minutes, but that includes the intro, and I'm testing this out. So if we look at the area, now remember the area is the space inside, okay? So I see here 2 rectangles. So if I look at this first rectangle, I'm going to color that in. So that's the space inside. So I'm going to color code this. Orange, area orange. Let me zoom in a little bit. There we go. So the area of this section here, okay, this rectangle I should say, would be 4 times 11. So 4 centimeters times 11 centimeters. So thinking back to your 4 times tables, that will give me 44 centimeters square. You got it. Okay. So am I done? No. That is only the area of this box here. So sometimes for the visual learners, it's easy to put the numbers into the box themselves. Why? Because then you can, in your head, think, okay, I'm done that part. Now, what's next? Oh, why did it just lose focus there? Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on here. One second. There we go. There we go. I do apologize about that. Okay. So, now we look at the second rectangle. Let's go with sky blue. Yeah, I'm going to shade that in. So that area would be 6 times 4. You got it. So 6 centimeters. Now, needless to say, if you think you know this stuff and want to give it a shot on your own, you don't need to watch these videos. These are meant to help you if you think you need it. 24 centimeters squared. So the total then would be, the total area would simply be the sum of its parts. So we look at the orange rectangle, we've got 44. We look at the blue rectangle, we got 24. And which gives us a total of, for those math whizzes, do that in your head? That's right, 68 centimeters squared. Done. Okay. Now that seemed like a lot of work, didn't it? For one question. However, just like anything else, do you really think about it when you put your shoes on anymore? When you tie those shoes? No, you just do it. So when you get to the second one, when you look at the perimeter, just simply add. Area, cut this into 2 rectangles, however you want to cut it. Okay? And this should be it for the first video. I am going to create another video to do one of the examples down here, and I will attach it to this same page. You should see it underneath this video. Okay. The reason I'm going to split it in 2 is because this video is already at 10 minutes and I promised 5 minutes. So, see you soon.